Stoic philosophy emphasizes the power of action over idle thought. These 10 Stoic-inspired tips will help you break free from procrastination, take control of the present, and achieve lasting momentum. The clock is ticking. The power of now. Imagine time as a river, continuously flowing, unstoppable, carrying moments away forever. The Stoics believed that life's greatest enemy isn't necessarily fear, lack of talent, or even external obstacles. It's procrastination, the quiet delay, the "I'll do it tomorrow." For Marcus Aurelius, this was the ultimate waste. He famously wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. The clock is ticking, and you never know when it will stop." Each day spent in hesitation, in avoidance, or in putting off what you know needs to be done is a day never to be returned. Procrastination doesn't just steal time, it erodes your potential, your growth, and even your spirit. Visualize this: a seed left unplanted never grows. Similarly, ideas and actions deferred may never come to life. And while it may seem harmless to delay a project, a phone call, or a task, you're actually creating a habit of inaction that digs itself deeper into your life with each passing day. Picture this in your mind. Every moment you hesitate, your dreams fade a little further into the background, while obstacles, real or imagined, multiply. To counter this, remind yourself that every second you hesitate is an opportunity lost forever. Embrace the truth that now, this very moment, is all you truly own. What would you do if you knew you had only 1 year, 1 month, or even just 1 day left to live? When we acknowledge the finiteness of our time, our priorities sharpen, and suddenly we feel the urgency to act. It's a powerful shift. Once you understand that life is slipping through your hands, the excuses start to fade. Every task becomes urgent. Every dream becomes essential. So start today. Make each day a conscious effort to pursue what matters. Don't wait for the perfect moment. It may never come. As Marcus Aurelius would say, let the inevitability of time passing push you into action, not anxiety. Each small step, taken consistently, will transform hesitation into habit and dreams into reality. The time to act is not tomorrow or even later today. It's now, right now. Embrace it, for the clock is always ticking. Action over anxiety, conquering the fear of failure. Fear of failure holds many back, often convincing us that waiting will somehow make things easier. Stoic philosophers saw this hesitation not as prudence, but as paralysis. Seneca wisely stated, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." The fear of failure, the anxious mind racing over possible negative outcomes, is nothing more than a creation of our imagination. But action, however small, holds the power to dissolve that anxiety. Think about it. How many times have you sat paralyzed, imagining the worst-case scenario in vivid detail? You see yourself failing, being judged, and feeling embarrassed. Yet, how often have those worst fears actually come to pass? If we analyze closely, we find that our mind tends to magnify the negative while shrinking the potential of positive outcomes. Seneca's words are a challenge to examine the stories we tell ourselves. Procrastination rooted in fear is nothing more than a false prophecy, one that withers away the moment you decide to act. The Stoics invite us to challenge this fear, not with reckless bravery, but with calculated courage. They believed that each small action chips away at fear and anxiety, clearing the path toward growth. So, rather than imagining every possible failure, why not take a single step forward and see what happens. Perhaps it's writing a single line of that novel you want to start, or making one phone call that leads to an opportunity. The beauty of this approach is that it takes the focus off the overwhelming idea of finishing or succeeding and places it squarely on the action itself. There's a practical power in action. It breaks the chains of anxiety and lets you prove to yourself that you are capable, that fear is an illusion. One completed task, no matter how small, weakens the grip of fear on your life. Let every little action be a hammer, chipping away at the wall of anxiety. Before long, that wall will collapse, revealing a world where obstacles are no longer paralyzing, but manageable. And here's the Stoic twist. Instead of fearing failure, why not embrace it as a teacher? Each setback holds a lesson, revealing something valuable about the task, or more importantly, about yourself. This shift is liberating, turning every misstep into a stepping stone. By embracing this Stoic mindset, you're no longer trapped in the anxiety of hypothetical failure. Instead, you're equipped to learn, grow, and keep moving forward. When you take action in the face of fear, you're practicing courage, resilience, and self-mastery, all cornerstones of Stoicism. Let Seneca's words guide you. While your mind may conjure endless nightmares, reality is often kinder. The next time you feel that anxiety of failure creeping in, remind yourself that the only true failure lies in never trying at all. And then, take the first step forward. Break it down. Small steps, big changes. One reason we procrastinate is because the task at hand feels overwhelming. When we see the mountain, we're often intimidated by its height, its steepness, and the effort it will demand. Epictetus, a master of Stoic thought, offers simple yet profound advice. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. This statement holds the key to tackling even the most daunting goals. Don't try to conquer the mountain all at once. Instead, take it one step at a time. The Stoic approach to overwhelming tasks is to break them down. Start by dividing your goal into manageable steps, even if they seem minor. Imagine, for instance, that you've been putting off starting a personal project. Begin by dedicating just 15 minutes to it today. Write one paragraph, make one phone call, or research a single aspect of the project. Once you complete that small action, you'll likely find that your momentum builds, and taking the next step doesn't feel quite so intimidating. By focusing on small, consistent actions, you create a chain of progress. Each link in this chain represents not just a step forward, but a strengthening of your resolve and a weakening of procrastination. Over time, you'll find that these small efforts compound, forming a foundation of consistent action that can carry you to even the loftiest goals. Remember, every massive achievement begins with a single step, taken with intention. In practicing this method, you become not just an achiever, but a master of your own mind. You'll find yourself gradually letting go of the habit of delaying, and in its place, you'll build a habit of action. Epictetus's wisdom will then become more than a philosophy. It will be a part of who you are. Let every small step affirm your commitment to progress and remind you that no task is insurmountable when taken one piece at a time. Embrace discomfort. Growth lies beyond your comfort zone. There's a reason why we often avoid certain tasks. They make us uncomfortable. Whether it's public speaking, a demanding workout, or tackling a challenging project, discomfort can be intimidating. Yet Stoic philosophy teaches that discomfort is not to be avoided. Rather, it's a signpost guiding us to growth. Seneca reminds us, difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. Embracing discomfort isn't easy, but it is necessary if you wish to break free from procrastination and reach your potential. Think of discomfort as the entry fee to personal growth. Procrastination often feels like the easier path because it allows us to avoid discomfort in the short term. But by delaying action, we also delay growth. Imagine yourself standing at a door labeled progress. This door can only be opened by stepping through discomfort. Each time you willingly face an uncomfortable task, you build your resilience and diminish the power that procrastination has over you. Start small. Choose something uncomfortable that you've been putting off and make a commitment to tackle it. It could be as simple as engaging in a difficult conversation, going for a run early in the morning, or even sitting down to study a new skill. Each time you face discomfort, remind yourself that you're strengthening your mental muscles, much like a workout strengthens your physical muscles. Over time, discomfort will no longer be something to dread. Instead, it will become a familiar friend, a sign that you're pushing yourself beyond your current limits. The Stoics understood that true strength, both of character and spirit, is cultivated by repeatedly stepping into discomfort. Embrace it and watch how your confidence grows, your resilience strengthens, and procrastination loses its grip on your life. Define your why. Purpose fuels action. Sometimes we put off tasks because we've lost sight of why they matter. Without a compelling reason, action can feel hollow, and it's all too easy to push things off for another day. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." The Stoics understood that having a clear sense of purpose is a powerful motivator. It provides a guiding light that pulls us through periods of doubt and temptation to procrastinate. Ask yourself, why does this task matter to me? What purpose does it serve in my life, my work, or my relationships? If the answer isn't immediately clear, spend some time reflecting on the long-term benefits of completing it. Maybe your why is to provide a better life for your family, to contribute meaningfully to society, or to develop a skill that will enrich your life. Purpose provides clarity, and clarity transforms hesitation into motivation. Once you've defined your why, write it down and keep it somewhere visible. Let it serve as a constant reminder of why this action is meaningful. On days when procrastination threatens to creep in, revisit this purpose. Let it be the spark that reignites your motivation, transforming a task from a burden into an opportunity. When you act with purpose, each action becomes a step closer to fulfilling your potential. Marcus Aurelius's words remind us that the time for debate is over. The moment you identify your purpose, commit to it fully. Let your purpose fuel your actions, guiding you forward even on difficult days. This isn't just about completing tasks, it's about aligning your actions with your values. With a purpose-driven life, procrastination has little room to thrive. Focus on what you can control. Free yourself from the unnecessary. Many of us procrastinate because we're weighed down by factors beyond our control. We worry about others' opinions, unexpected obstacles, or outcomes we can't predict. The Stoics teach us to direct our energy only toward what lies within our control. Epictetus reminds us, make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens. By focusing only on what we can influence, we free ourselves from distractions and anxieties that hold us back. Imagine starting a project without fixating on how others will perceive it or whether you'll be successful by external standards. This approach doesn't just simplify the task, it also releases you from the weight of perfectionism. When you choose to focus only on what you can control, your effort, your attitude, and your actions, you'll find it much easier to take that first step. The power lies in recognizing that success isn't necessarily a flawless outcome. It's the determination to give your best despite uncertainty. This mindset is liberating. Each day, instead of allowing yourself to be distracted by what could go wrong, ask yourself, what is within my control today? Focus on that. Maybe it's setting aside an hour to work, communicating clearly with your team, or planning the next step of your project. By narrowing your focus, you remove much of the resistance that fuels procrastination. Ultimately, this approach isn't just about taking action. It's about reclaiming your mental freedom. You no longer need to carry the unnecessary burden of worrying about everything that could go wrong. Epictetus's wisdom reminds us to concentrate on what we can do, here and now, and let the rest unfold as it may. When you free yourself from the need for perfect conditions, procrastination loses its foundation, and action becomes an expression of confidence, resilience, and peace. Visualize the outcome. See success before you begin. Visualization is a powerful tool, one the Stoics used to prepare for both success and adversity. By vividly imagining the outcome of your actions, you build a sense of excitement and anticipation that drives you to take that crucial first step. Seneca wrote, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." Visualizing your goals brings them within reach, turning hesitation into determination. Imagine yourself completing that project you've been avoiding. Picture the satisfaction, the relief, and even the doors it could open. Envision not just the end result, but the feeling of accomplishment that comes with it. Let this image serve as fuel, reminding you why you started and what lies at the end of the road. Visualization can make the challenges feel smaller, the task less daunting, and the reward more tangible. By seeing success before you even begin, you create a magnetic pull toward action. When you feel discouraged, revisit this vision and let it renew your motivation. Visualizing success not only prepares you mentally, but also shifts your focus from obstacles to possibilities. When you see yourself succeeding, you're less likely to delay action and more likely to move forward with confidence. Let visualization be a tool in your arsenal against procrastination. Picture your desired outcome often, and let it be a source of inspiration each day. With this clear vision in mind, you'll find yourself naturally drawn to action, ready to make your aspirations a reality. Leverage the power of reflection. Learn from each attempt. The Stoics placed immense value on self-reflection, not as a judgmental tool, but as a means for continuous improvement. After every action, especially those you've been avoiding, take a moment to reflect on what you did well, what could be improved, and how you felt during the process. Marcus Aurelius frequently used his reflections to assess his actions and attitudes. He famously noted, "Look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it will ever bubble up, if thou wilt ever dig." Reflection allows you to analyze the day with honesty and without judgment. Maybe you tried to tackle a daunting task, but found yourself only partly completing it. Rather than focusing on what you didn't achieve, celebrate what you did and use the experience to guide your next steps. Ask yourself, what small changes can I make tomorrow to approach this more effectively? This constant feedback loop helps prevent procrastination because you begin to see progress even in small steps as a measure of success. The Stoics knew that change doesn't happen in one grand effort, but in the series of adjustments we make daily. The act of reflecting allows you to acknowledge these adjustments, however small, and fuels the momentum needed to keep going. Reflection is a way to appreciate every bit of effort you've put in, without the anxiety of expecting perfection. By reflecting on each day's achievements, you build a continuous loop of growth that makes future actions feel less daunting and more inviting. In practice, keep a journal or simply make mental notes on how each day's actions aligned with your goals. This habit roots you in purposeful action, transforming each experience, good or challenging, into a stepping stone toward greater productivity and intentional living. Practice the one-breath rule. Start now, right now. When faced with a task, don't wait for the perfect moment. The Stoics teach us that the only time we truly have is now. Epictetus urged, "How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself?" This sentiment reminds us that waiting for the right circumstances is often just an excuse to procrastinate. By using the one-breath rule, you commit to beginning any task within the span of a single breath. When you feel the temptation to procrastinate, take a deep breath, count to 1, and start. No overthinking, no second-guessing, just begin. This method is incredibly effective for overcoming inertia. For example, if you need to start a report, open the document and write the first sentence. Need to clean up your workspace? Stand up and pick up the first item. The goal isn't to finish everything in one breath, but to break the psychological barrier that makes starting seem intimidating. The power of this approach lies in its simplicity. By reducing the initiation of any task to just a single breath, you sidestep the mental resistance that builds up with procrastination. It may seem trivial, but once you take that first small action, it becomes easier to keep going. Each small beginning, grounded in the moment, leads to greater focus and achievement over time. When practiced consistently, the one-breath rule rewires your mind to see action as an immediate response. Over time, you'll find that the mental blocks associated with procrastination weaken, and the habit of acting promptly strengthens. It's not about doing everything at once, but about making a conscious choice to start without delay. Adopt a beginner's mind. Be willing to start small and grow. Procrastination often arises from the fear of imperfection or the belief that we must have everything figured out before we start. The Stoics, however, valued progress over perfection. They understood that growth is an ongoing journey and that every great achievement begins humbly. Seneca expressed this well: "While we wait for life, life passes." This quote urges us to embrace the humility of starting without waiting to be ready. Approaching each task with a beginner's mind means being open to learning and accepting the value of starting small. Let go of the need to know every step in advance. Instead, take the first step and let the path unfold. For instance, if you're delaying learning a new skill because it feels too complex, allow yourself to begin as a novice. Enjoy the learning curve rather than letting it intimidate you. The sooner you embrace the role of a student, the faster you'll progress. The beauty of a beginner's mindset is that it removes the pressure of perfection. Instead of focusing on the end result, you appreciate each stage of growth. In doing so, you build a steady momentum that pushes you past procrastination. By giving yourself permission to be a beginner, you remove one of the biggest mental barriers to action. You no longer feel pressured to know it all. Instead, you're simply focused on growing a little each day. Over time, this approach becomes a habit, When you consistently allow yourself to start small, you develop resilience, humility, and an enthusiasm for learning. Embrace each task, big or small, with a willingness to grow, and you'll find that action becomes a natural, enjoyable part of your life. In Stoicism, the emphasis on immediate, purposeful action allows us to move from intention to transformation. Every small step we take strengthens our resolve, trains our discipline, and removes mental barriers. By reflecting, breaking tasks into manageable parts, and focusing on progress rather than perfection, we're able to cultivate a mindset ready for action. Embrace these principles daily, and you'll find that procrastination fades, replaced by a resilient drive to make each moment count.